Well, hello there, it's me, Brian. I've got to say, I've been having fun writing out scripts and having a narrator read them out. At the time of this writing, my number of views and subscribers are few and in between, but just kicking back and relaxing has been really enjoyable. If I'm not working, gaming, cooking, exercising, or just watching movies, I just simply bring up my Word document and start writing out what's been in my mind. Speaking of convenience, it's been a bit of a stress relief to use a narrator to read out what I've typed, and even use AI art generation to make up an image for my YouTube thumbnails. Yes, I'm the villain for using these shortcuts. Frown tactics or laziness, as we could say, but let's cover this topic using my personal view. Not what I'm saying is fact, but it's more of an opinion. Just as my previous uploads, it's my personal point of view, so take it with a grain of salt. So here it goes. For my recent uploads, or I guess you could refer to them more of an audiobook, the narrator is the most obvious thing that's presented to you. As I've mentioned before, it's an artificial intelligence tool that's been extremely helpful in bringing my message to light. Easy enough. I type out the script, the tool narrates, and I work with the rest of the video production. So yeah, especially for a podcast, reading out the script personally is the biggest part of the workload, so yes, it's a shortcut I'm willing to take. Since I've been getting back to uploading audio files onto YouTube, you start to realize and uncover things you've never thought about before. Well, just along with any new hobby. On some of my uploads, I'd read out a script, but I'd have to practice reading it over as if I was practicing for an act. Other times, I'll wing it, but I'd stumble on my words. And if things go well, I'm in an environment prone to background noise. And it gets so frustrating when I get the audio recording just right until I go back and listen to myself stutter, or if any other sounds are introduced. At that point, audio processing can only do so much, and I'll delete the recording and start all over again. That's just one detail with working on podcasts I didn't factor in, the audio quality and speech itself. And I'm sure it's obvious for many, even for those who don't record, but I'm someone who learned hands-on. I have a bad habit of thinking within the box. When I try new skills, I usually tend to run into problems or roadblocks, which I never predicted. I'm not as gifted as other quick learners. With using a narrator, the script can be read out with far less issues. And that's where the tool comes into play for convenience. Because it saves me a large amount of time. No more hiccups, no more stutters, no more background noise. Even though the artificial intelligence tool isn't perfect, it's so nice listening to a clean audio file that I've written and published. My obsessive-compulsive disorder thanks me for it. Now for the lazy part of this example. I'm certain many ask, why don't I place the effort for a vocalized podcast? And the answer to that is, well, time, and also, saving me the effort on what's tedious. How many would enjoy cooking if washing dishes or gathering ingredients were taken out of the equation? Here I will embrace the "I'm too busy" excuse. I want to keep working with media production, but I would rather not have any pastimes to dig into the time of my other hobbies. And yes, not practicing the voiceovers would prevent me from getting better, thus making the audio recording experience easier over time. But remember, this tool frees me up to focus on other aspects of my uploads. If media production was my sole purpose, and if I had all the time available to focus on it, then it would be justified to practice and work with all the small parts. For the second point, speaking out the script is the fun part. What's not enjoyable is needing to record audio over multiple times. So yes, it's a shortcut, just as I purchase canned pumpkin puree if I'd like to make pumpkin bread or pumpkin pie instead of breaking down the whole squash. It's not as good as going all out from scratch, but I'm willing to make a sacrifice in taste compared to building it all from ground zero. It's a convenience for me, it's laziness for others. Oh, and just so you'll know, the gameplay in the background was added to showcase a sense of personalization, instead of ripping a loop video made by someone or something else. If I had enough time to draw or practice, I'd be crafting my own thumbnails for YouTube. And now, speaking about the art generator. It's another controversial matter, just as the other tool. Here's a question. Are these tools not taking the jobs away from those who draw for commissions, or those who voice act? And possibly this could encourage laziness. Why would I want to draw when I can place a small amount of effort into programming instead and train artificial intelligence to draw any image of any art style, These generators can draw just about any art style you can imagine and with amazing accuracy and detail. While most human artists specialize in a few. Would you like a photorealistic image, or maybe you'd be in the mood for cubism or impressionist art? Let's not forget the concept of what images the tool was trained on. These generators are fed multiple images from different artists to learn and add their own spin, depending what you ask it for. Trained all the way down from a photographer's captures to drawn images. So yeah, even if you don't draw, those images you captured via camera could have been fed to an art generator. And the tool then learns, or as some may say, steal your art style and design. Now this is my theory. There could possibly be companies that draw or capture their own imagery and send it off to artificial intelligence for training. Of course, that would consume a lot more time and also finances compared to using the internet to outsource all of the images. And if that's the case, who knows if the resources, owned by people, were approved to be used in such a manner. Maybe your own image you drew and posted online was used to train a generator. I can see where some would get disgusted by the idea of the use of artificial intelligence on how it's trained. By, depending on your point of view, borrowing, stealing, or learning from other people's work. And the disagreements by taking jobs or dismissing the value of jobs of others. At the time of this writing, you could even ask an artificial intelligence to write or format a legal document without needing to pay a lawyer. Or if you're in school, abuse the tool to cheat the education system. So many things can be used, and keep in mind at this time we're at the early stages. Yes, I'm aware that cutting corners or cheating has always been a thing with the power of the internet. But as artificial intelligence only gets more powerful, it just makes cutting corners so much easier. Depending on how it's used. Just as a car is a tool that can be used for evil, running over people, or how it can be used to expedite your workload, getting you to your destination. Or how a knife can be used to cut ingredients or, instead, used as a weapon. It all boils down to how artificial intelligence is used just as any other tool. In my case, the usage of this tool has made time available where I can work on future uploads more easily. I won't be getting too much into the details of the rest of the controversial matters, such as the fear of what'll happen when, or if, it becomes self-aware. Even around this time, there's also concerns that if it gets smart enough, it might even eliminate some white-collar jobs. For me, it's simply a gadget that gives me a hand by shaving off some time to publish my content. I'm sure some would rather hear my voice, and it's a possibility that I may do so again. But for now, it's been enjoyable writing out my thoughts without needing to invest additional time on voice acting. And with that time that's been freed up, thanks to artificial intelligence, I plan on investing that availability on more advanced video edits. But anyways, thank you all.